Hi, you guys. Thanks for joining me here today. If you haven't heard of me before, my name is Cat Hughes. I am a hairdresser, hairstylist, and educator from Melbourne, Australia. First of all, I'd like to thank Moroccanoil and Behind the Chair for having me here today, just to be able to show you what I do and share some of my tips and tricks and little hacks that I do. And I hope you get a lot out of it today. I also want you to comment today as well. So lots of comments. I want you to ask lots of questions. Don't be shy. And at the end, we're going to do a giveaway with Moroccanoil. Okay, so I'm going to jump straight into it. The style that I'm doing today is a semi-halo braid. So I created this style about 5 years ago, and I created it because I couldn't actually get the hang of doing a full crown braid. So this is a little bit of a hack, and if you've been on my Instagram, you will know that I love to turn hard styles into easy styles and simplify it. So I'm going to get straight into it. So I've got my mannequin head here today. So what I've done is I've just blow waved her hair. I've used the Moroccanoil Blow Dry Concentrate. So this is amazing on really thick hair. It really helps to blow over the hair. I haven't straightened the hair at all. I really wanted it to be kind of soft and fluffy as well. If you're working on fine hair, I recommend the Moroccanoil Light treatment. Okay, so let's jump straight into it. I'm going to turn her around, and what I'm going to do is just underneath is just section out the bottom. So because this mannequin head is really thick, I'm actually going to come in a little bit closer so you guys can see really close. I hope that's good. Okay, so because the mannequin head is really thick, I'm actually going to create a little ponytail just in here, just so that when I pin the hair over the top, it has something to kind of anchor onto. If the hair is fine, if you're working with fine hair, you can probably skip that step. So I'm just going to section out the top and then grab a little bit from underneath, leave the sides out, and I'm going to do a little ponytail here just with a little elastic. So you guys can get these elastics from anywhere. So I'm going to pop it down as close as possible to the nape so it's out of my way, and then I've got space here as well. There we go.
Hey, Kat.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Heather from BTC.
Hi.
Hi. So for everybody in the audience, make sure you get your questions in. I am going to be asking Kat all of your questions so she can work and talk. We did have a question so far, and it was, did you flat iron the hair first?
No, so I only blow waved it. I used the concentrate, the blow dry concentrate, and I've just blow waved it smooth. I didn't use any irons because I wanted it to still be fluffy and kind of free. I didn't want it to be too flat. So you can use irons if you want to, but you're going to have more of a flat kind of braid. It's your choice, but for me, I haven't done that. Sorry, I forgot to introduce you, Heather.
No, you're good.
Okay, so I used the Moroccanoil Luminous Hairspray in Strong, and I'm just going to spray that in just to give it a little bit more grip. Okay, so pull this down. Guys, this style is super, super easy, and I'm showing you the most easy version of it. You can definitely do, like, once you've learnt this, you can change it up and make it as hard as you want, or if you did it with curls as well, it looks absolutely beautiful. But for today, I'm just doing it really simple, just to show you that you can create styles that are simple and look beautiful. All right, so the next step that we're going to do is just create like a little circle around and leaving the sides out. So these side bits is where we're going to be doing our braids down. And in here, we are going to be pinning it and securing it to create like a nice kind of shape in there. So I'll just section that out.
Hey, Kat.
Yep.
Okay, we have a question about How much of the Moroccanoil product did you use for her hair?
For this product here, the smooth, probably like 3 pumps, but this hair is really thick, so it is a concentrate. You don't have to go crazy. I would start with maybe one pump, maybe 2 pumps, and see how you go. You can always add extra if you want to, but this is a brand new mannequin and the hair's super thick, so I needed that little bit extra. So probably 3 to 4 pumps, and really rub it into the hands first and then apply. So don't ever put the product and run it straight through. Always rub it into the hands, warm it up a little bit, and then apply so it distributes nice and evenly.
Perfect. And then is this hairstyle for long hair, or can you do this on short hair or medium length hair too?
You can definitely do it on short hair. This mannequin head's probably that tiny bit too long. It works amazing on short hair because once you've braided down, you can just tuck in the ends in, and I'm going to show you how to do that a little bit later on. It works on thick hair, it works on fine hair. It is a good all-rounder. All right, so let me show you what I've done here. So as you can see, I've done like a little kind of circle around, and I've left the sides out, and I've also left these little bits out as well. So let's get rid of them out of the way. Okay, that's that side. And I'll just jump over here and get rid of that. Okay, so with this style, if you want to, I mean, the hair's really silky and smooth because of the product that I used. When I'm working, I really like to use products that are going to control the frizz. So even though this style is a little bit textured, I do like to use products that are going to help me control the hair as I'm working. One of my favorite products is the Moroccanoil Smooth. I use that a lot. I also use this for blow waving, and it's beautiful. So I use that product there. I also use the Moroccanoil treatment, and I also love the Style Cream. Now I have a little bit of a hack that I have, and I have made my little cream out of all 3 products. So I haven't told Moroccanoil that I've done this yet. Maybe I need to speak to them about a new little product. But it's the 3 products mixed together. So it has the smooth of that product there, the shine of the oil, and the hold of the style. So all 3 together create magic. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of that product and pop it on my hand, the back of my hand. As you can see, like it's got a good consistency. It's a little bit too much product. I'll just get rid of some. Okay, so I'm going to grab some in between my fingers. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to piece it through the top. You can see straight away there's heaps of hold there. Piece it through. Piece it through. Once I've done that, make sure you get it right down the strand as well, not just up the top. Keep piecing it, pulling it down. And what this does is adds shine, hold, and the most important thing, control that frizz that everybody has trouble with. So a lot of people have trouble with uncontrollable frizz because they're using hairspray to style. So I feel like everybody needs to look at their products and see what to use while they're styling, and leave the hairspray to the end. Don't style with hairspray. If you are, you can go in with the Luminous medium. So the medium finish. I would never use the strong or the extra strong while I'm styling. That's for more of a finishing. All right, so what I've done now is I've just combed it through, but I can feel that hold in there. Can you see that awesome shine?
That looks great. And one question while we're at it on the cocktailing of products, everybody was big fans of that. Was it just equal parts that you used?
Yeah, so I used equal parts of the smooth and the style, and then about 4 pumps of the treatment.
Got it.
However much you want to make. Yeah, and this tub will last me ages as well. So yeah. It's always like really good to really kind of try new things. Like I always mix products together and see what, you know, I can create. It's fun. It's fun to do those things rather than just, you know, using one product. Let's see what 2 or 3 products can do together. All right, so I'm just popping a little bit more through here. And as you can see, like I've got no frizz at all through there. It's all really smooth and shiny. All right, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to pin that down. Now, this mannequin hair is super, super thick, so I'm probably going to have a little bit of the hair popping out, but that's okay. We just need it to kind of anchor down to begin with, and then later on, if it pops up, that's fine. So I'm just opening the pin and sliding it across just like that. Can you see? And then we're going to go the other side. So open the pin right up. So most of the time when I'm styling, I use clothespins, but for this kind of particular part, I open the pin right up and I try and get as much hair in as possible. And I'm also pinning down into that ponytail just in there. And again. And we want to try and get all the hair in. If you've got fine hair, this is easy if a couple of pins is all you need, but for the thick hair, you really need to kind of use a few pins and overlap them as well. All right, that's looking pretty good. So this pin's already popped out. So I'm going to take that out and redo that.
All right, we have a couple questions rolling in. One that we kind of passed. Vanessa asked, how many pieces should you use that cream on?
It really depends on the hair. So on fine hair, you probably would use a little bit less. On thick hair, you just keep going until you feel like you've got control and smoothness. So it really depends on each person. For me, I did like 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 6 pieces. And then when I comb it out, it kind of distributes it nice and evenly.
Great. And then Terry is asking, does this style work best on clean hair?
Okay, so I only really want to work on clean hair. So if I need to dirty the hair up, I want to do that with my products. So I always get my clients to wash their hair the night before or the morning of if they're really oily, sorry. I never want to work on oily hair. It's kind of, that was for the 90s, like when we were doing barrel curls and, you know, sleek kind of styles. Now, if you want airy kind of hairstyles, it needs to be super clean.
Great. And then Imelda is asking, what styling product would you use to curl hair?
I love the Texture Spray. So Texture by Moroccanoil is one of my absolute favorite styles. I actually spray this in before curling and after to give that kind of hold or beachy effect. If I want a smooth curl, I use hairspray, only in the medium though. So the medium finish.
Perfect. And then back to this that you were just on, Imelda wants to know, are you crisscrossing the bobby pins?
I've crisscrossed a couple, but I'm overlapping. So sometimes when you crisscross, they can pop up a little bit to the sides and stick out. So it depends on the hair again. Fine hair, that's fine. But on thicker hair, I feel like sometimes they just pop out. So I've put them straight across, but I have overlapped them. So I'm just going to bring it in a little bit closer for you to see. It's, so one's going there, one's going there. So it's overlapping to make sure that I've got it secure. It's really okay. Whatever way you want to pin is fine. You don't have to worry too much about that. This style is really easy and chill. Like you could do this on a bridesmaid, you can do this on a bride, but you can also wear it like for a festival or a mum doing her daughter's hair for school. So however you want to do it is fine. Just make sure that it's nice and secure. And if they do start to pop out, we just push them back in a little bit. All right, so now we're going to add some texture through here. So as you can see, it's sitting quite flat. And I want to create some air and texture. So I've got my 5-prong comb. If you don't have this, you can just use your hand and secure your hand down here and pull the hair. But I'm going to use my comb because I love it. If you don't have one, get one. It's amazing. So I'm just going to comb it down. I'm going to come in a little bit closer. I'm just going to comb the hair down, secure it down at the base, grab my fingers, run it down from the top to the base, and just pinch. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Can you see what I've done there? Let me stand behind so you can see. So I've created a little bit of volume. Now we don't want too much volume here. We want to create volume around here. And we're going to go through and do that everywhere. So we want to kind of leave a little bit of a gap in between each pinch. So get your little pinches, run it down and pinch. Again, run it down and pinch. Now, I don't want this to be too perfect. I want it to look kind of natural and easy flowing, not too stiff and hard work. So, and again, run it down, pull it out. So we're pulling out, not really up, we're pulling straight out. And then if it needs a little bit more there, we pull up. So directly out from the scalp. If it gets a bit messy, you can just comb it down a little bit. And again. All right, so that's looking a little bit more airy and textured. We don't want to do too much now because we'll go back and assess it once I've done the braids. All right, so I'm happy with that. We are now going to go in and do some braiding. So the braid that I'm going to be doing is an inside out braid. I think it's also called a Dutch braid. Okay. Can you dress this up or down? Absolutely. You can, if you want to make it a little bit more textured, say for like a festival, go right in with the texture spray. Like don't even worry about the smoothing. Just really mess it up and give it lots of texture with the texture spray. This is probably a little bit more of a formal style, making it a little bit more smooth. But yeah, you can definitely make it more textured and easy flow. Okay, so what I've done here is I've just sectioned out the hairline. I'm going to leave that for later. And now we're going to do the braid. I'm just going to grab a little bit more of my little product here, which is the 3 Moroccanoils, and I'm just going to rub that all over my hands. And just kind of run that over to make sure I don't have any frizzies hanging around. I'll just section this out as well. All right. So I'm assuming everyone knows how to do a three-strand inside-out braid. So we start with obviously 3 strands, and we're starting pretty close to the top. We're going to turn them away from the plait and just add hair as we go. Coming through from underneath. I hope everyone can see that really well. Is that okay, Heather?
Yes. That's
okay. All right, so keep adding the hair in. Now we kind of want to get as close as possible to this part here. We don't want to stray too far from that line. Keep adding in.
All right, we have some questions rolling in. Do you find this style easy to secure a veil into?
Absolutely. And remind me at the end to just go over veils quickly.
Okay.
I don't actually use a comb. So if you're still using a comb on a veil, you need to get rid of the comb. It gets in the way. So I take the comb off and then I just bobby pin it in. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. So I'm just going to release this hair and I'm just going to add some of that hair in just to create a little bit of a swooping kind of and cover that hairline a little bit.
Perfect. And then for people who have fine hair, how do you get the braid to look thick and full?
Yep, so we are just about to jump into that. So we're going to fatten the braid up a little bit. So once I get to about this stage, I then go in with my pinchers again, and I just pull from the sides, nice and gentle. So you can see straight away that that's fattened the braid up a little bit. Can you see how I'm doing that? So I never want to actually pull from the top. I want the braid to sit quite flat. So I'm just pulling out from the sides and then the other side as well. And it's good to kind of do it when you get to this stage and not later on, just so that you aren't going to mess up the braid too much. You kind of want to do it as you go. So obviously fine hair isn't going to be as thick, but that's fine. You can pull it out as much as you want to make it as thick as you want. And then I'm just going to continue back through. And we want to keep it close to the scalp as well. Yeah. Okay, so continuing through, getting to the last little bit here, which is the side bits that we left out. Making sure that it's nice and tight to the scalp. Now I'm going to go back through again and just fatten up that last bit. And as you can see, like I don't have much frizz going on. It's nice and smooth because of the products that I used. So you always need to think like if there's frizz, you need to smooth them out. So find those smoothing products that you need rather than a hairspray. So hairspray should be the last kind of product that you'd be using as a styling product. That's my opinion. Everyone has different opinions, but that's how I like to style. All right, so I'm happy with that thickness. I'm now going to make sure that I add this part of the hair in as well. And we only want to go to about halfway. So half for this side and half for the other side. So let's start to add that in.
This is looking so good so far. Janice is just asking, she has always struggled fanning the braid out. Do you have any tricks for this?
So gentle pinches, gentle, and just pulling out the sides. And take your time. You never want to pull out from throughout the braid. I think that creates a little bit more mess and can loosen the braid a little bit. So yeah, I definitely just pull out the side parts and just use gentle hands. Don't be too rough. Okay, so we're getting to the end of this part here. Just adding in a little bit extra. Maybe one more. I'm going to turn it in one set, guys, just so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so that's where we're at. And I'm just going to braid it down a little bit further. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back through and just pinch this through a bit more. I like to pinch it through to about here. The end part, I don't want too much fullness because we are going to be wrapping them around and I don't want it to sit too full. So you'll see what I mean when we get there, but that's probably as much as I want to do just in there. A little bit more through there. Yeah, okay. And now I'm just going to run it down and then tie that one up. Probably as low as possible as well.
And Terry is asking, are you picking up hair on both sides?
Yes. Yes, so both sides of the braid I'm picking up and adding into the braid. All the way through. Okay, so just have another look, making sure I'm happy with that. So that's one side done. There we go. Cool. All right, we're going to do the other side now, exactly the same. Again, I'm going to leave some hair out around the hairline.
Janice is asking, did she add hair from the center that's pinned down?
This part here, yes. So I've done about halfway. I've added in about half. And you can see because of the thick hair, it's starting to pop up, but that's okay because it's added into the braid now. And then once we flick it up, it doesn't matter anymore. So yes, we want to end up with all the hair in the 2 braids.
Perfect. And then Kyle wants to know, can this also be a half updo?
Yeah, I haven't done it, but absolutely. So you would just literally just do it around here. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, that just gave you a good new idea.
Thanks for the idea. That would look really beautiful. And then definitely like have curls throughout the rest.
Yeah, I want that. That would be so great.
Yeah.
Okay, Johanna wants to know, what if they have layers? What do you do to keep the hair from sticking out of the braid?
Definitely product. So don't underestimate product. So again, if you're just jumping in, this product here that I have is a mix of the Moroccanoil Smooth, the Style Cream, and some oil. So I've mixed that all up together and I've created something that has hold, smoothness, and shine. That would really help with any layers or any bits that are going to stick out.
Amazing.
So I feel like people need to use product a little bit more and not be afraid of using product. It's really going to change your styling.
Totally. And they said when you do try that half updo, they want to see proof.
Absolutely. So my Instagram is Cat Hughes XO. So I've got lots of videos on there of all different little hacks. And as I said before, I take any style and simplify the style and make styles that look hard really easy. So I will add that on there. And also if you create this style, I want to see it. So definitely tag me, tag Moroccanoil Pro. We want to see, guys. All right, so we are just doing the same on this side. Both sides adding in. Try not to grab any hair that is pinned back. We don't want to interrupt that hair. And I'm going to add a little bit of hair from the sides. It just creates a little bit of softness and kind of like free flow. We're really, in Australia, we're very kind of love natural boho hair. And I feel like that's the same in the States. I guess everywhere around the world has different styles, but like we love some boho hair. And this is totally boho. So we're just pinching the hair out again. So if you just joined us, this is exactly what we did on the other side. And I'm just with my little pinches, soft pinches, grabbing the sides and just gently pulling them out to create some fullness and softness. So we never want the braid to look stiff. We want it to look soft and kind of flowy. Add a little bit of extra hair in there. And if you feel like you're losing control of the hair, just add more product.
All right. Sharon wants to know, do you find braiding one side of the head is easier than the other?
Yes, absolutely. It's like when you do your eyebrows, one side's good, the other one's just a little bit, different. Yes, so I feel like the other side is my harder side, which is the side I started with, but I feel like that's actually looking better. But I mean, you're never going to get them the same, but it's totally normal. Totally normal if you can't get it quite right. It's like when you blow over your own hair, one side is always that little bit harder to curl. Yeah. All right, so make sure that it's nice and tight at the nape and keep adding in that hair. So basically, if you can do an inside out braid, you can do this style. It's so, so easy. And just pinching that out, making it a little bit fatter. Hope you guys can see well. And I feel like this style is really popular because a lot of people don't actually like to wear their hair right around. It's a little bit, it doesn't suit everybody. So I feel like for me, this is more a style that I would wear rather than a full crown. Okay, just keep adding that hair in. Nice and easy.
All right, Terry is asking if they want more of a bump and fullness at the crown, do you back comb first or just pull the pieces higher up?
You can back comb, and you probably would want to on finer hair. For this mannequin, it was not necessary. If you definitely want more volume here, yes, you can back comb. It depends on the style that you want to create. I don't love too much fullness here. I could probably go a bit more, but not too bumpy for me. But yeah, absolutely. If that's what you want to create, like you can take this style and add and do whatever you like to it. Just make sure when you do back comb, you do comb out and make sure that it's not like you can't see the back combing. You never want to see back combing. It's kind of there but not visible. All right, we are almost done with this braid. Okay, I'm just going to pinch out this little bit here and tie it up. All right. So there we have it, 2 braids. Now you can see that little bit has popped out. I'll pop another pin in, but it kind of isn't necessary, like you don't need to, but I will anyway. So I can already see I want to add more fullness here, but we'll wait until I've pinned up the sides. So now what I do is I want to see how this will sit, which way it will sit better. So that way, or so that way with this side on top, or the other way around and that side on top. So sometimes one side will sit better. So you do need to kind of check before you go pinning. What you do then is I feel like I want that one on top. So I am going to then open this braid up and feed that through. Did you see what I did there? So I've just opened up one side of the braid and I've fed the other braid through, and I'm going to tighten that and I'm going to pin it. So that way it just sits a little bit flatter. So I've got some pins popping out now on the sides. We don't need them anymore. I'm just going to take them out. Yeah. Cool. All right. Did everybody see that okay? Like, I hope that made sense. Nice and easy. You just feed one braid through on one side. Now I'm going to pin this side in first. Oh, I've got my pinny thing here. Okay. So now we're going to go in with closed pins and just really kind of push it down onto the scalp. So I never open the pins, because if you open the pins, you're going to see them popping out, and we don't want that. You never want to be able to see the pins. That one had too much hair in it, so show. So I'm just going to do that one again.
You just impressed everybody. They're amazed at that, opening the braid and feeding it through.
Yeah.
They love it. And guys, if you came in late or you missed any of this or you want to rewatch this, this is going to live on forever on our Facebook and YouTube pages. So if you want to go back and rewatch, definitely do that.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's one side pinned. And as you can see, I've just left this hair up. We'll take care of that later. Okay, so that's one side. And now we're going to pin the other side up. And see those pins there that we used before? They don't matter, because we're going to cover them and they're going to be gone. So don't worry too much about those. Okay, see this little loopy hair here? We don't want that. So what I do is I go in with a tiny little pin and I just grab that hair and push it down into the base to make it disappear. Okay, now We're going to be pinning this side in. Again, closed pins. Pushing down into the scalp, making sure that it's connecting with some of the hair underneath.
And are those bobby pins that you're using?
These are bobby pins, yes. So just a simple bobby pin. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so that's where we're at. And now we've got these two little bits here that we need to get rid of. So like I said before, the hair's a little bit long. So if the hair was shorter, you'd probably be looking at somewhere in there that it would end. And what you would do is you just tuck it in underneath the braid, this braid, you tuck it in underneath there. But this hair is a little bit longer, probably too long for this style, but that's fine. I'm going to fold it under and just push it in all the way to get rid of it, like that. And I'm going to pin it in. If the hair's super long, you can keep going right around. So like I said, it's kind of suited for all lengths. And now I'm just going to secure that in. I also want to get into that elastic band and secure that down. And that means it's not going to go anywhere because I've gotten into the elastic and bobby pinned that down. So if we want to hide that a little bit, I'm just going to lift that braid up a little bit and fan it over. There we go. And same on the other side. So I'm going to tuck that in. If you're having a little bit of trouble, just get some medium hairspray. Spray that so it's nice and together. Tuck that in. Make sure the elastic band is tucked. We don't want it to look like that, where you can see the elastic band. We want to tuck a little bit further down so you can't see that elastic band. And tuck all the way down.
All right, Janice is asking, when pinning the braid down, are the bobby pins facing up or down?
As in, it just depends on which part you're pinning. I kind of just go by feel, where it feels like it will be the most secure. For this part here, like I'm kind of getting in and I'm going across and down just to, I don't ever really go up. No, I feel like, yeah, I go more down and across. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
And Heather wants to see the hairspray.
Sure. Okay, so my favorite hairspray when I'm styling, now I don't use too much hairspray while I'm styling, but if I do, I use the Finish Medium Hold, the luminous hairspray. After I'm styling, I go in with the strong or the extra strong, depending on the style. So if I'm going to be doing like a Hollywood wave or a vintage wave, I love that strong hairspray at the end. All right, so that's what we're looking like at the moment. But I feel like it still needs a little bit of work. So as you can see here, it's kind of not blending. Where is it? There it is. So we want to pin that down as well. So I'm just going to go in, flatten that down, pushing down into the braid. I feel like that's sitting a bit better. Same on the other side, make sure that it's kind of, we don't want it to look like two braids sitting on top of each other. So that's when I like to kind of fluff it out a little bit. You can get a little bit more rough now. You don't have to be so particular because it's while you're styling is when you need to be really soft with your hands so you don't create too much frizz and the hair becomes out of control. So now we can just kind of go in, pin it down. I actually want this to sit a little bit fuller. So I am going to get in and just keep pinching the hair to create a little bit more volume down here. You can also, so when I said with this style, you can kind of keep creating and, you know, designing your own ways of doing it. I also like to sometimes pin that in a little bit to create like a little bit of a bun. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to keep it basic. But just remember, guys, like you can take one style and just keep playing with it and see what you can create. You don't always have to just stick to the rules. I'm such a rule breaker when it comes to hairstyling, and I feel like that's how you always create and learn. All right, so just keep pinching. And I feel like I want a little bit more volume down here. So I'm just going to pull that down a little bit. And so you can see I'm starting to create a little bit more texture, which is great because I do love this style to be textured. These ends have just popped out, so I'm just going to make sure I'm going to open it up, get those ends in and push them right in because they're not invited.
And also Sharon just clarified that they were asking, are the bobby pins, where did it go? What am I saying? Is the flat side facing up or down on the bobby pins?
Oh, yeah, I do whatever. Like, yeah, whatever I feel like I want to do. You can, I know some people like to do the bobby pin facing down. But honestly, like when I'm working, I just create and I'm going and I just do what I'm doing. Like I don't think about things too much when it comes to like which way the bobby pin is facing, as long as it's grouped to the hair. So that's what I'm, more concerned about. All right, so I'm just going to go in with my texture spray now. So I've used the smoothing products to create control, and now I want to go in and really kind of texturize it up. So I'm going to go through here, spray that in, and I'm really going to kind of rough it up a little bit just to give it that more natural kind of look. So what you also want to do is check the balance from the side. So is this balanced with this here? Do you have too much volume here and it doesn't match here? So always make sure that you're checking your style from all different directions to make sure that you have good balance. If you want more texture, just go in and kind of instead of using your soft pinches, you go in and you can rub a little bit, rub the hair a little bit and fluff it up. All right, so I'm just going to add a few more pins just to make sure it's nice and secure. I think we're good. All right, so now I'm just going to go in and I'm going to show you how I do the front. So I'm going to turn on my curl stick. Guys, do we have any more questions while I'm setting up my curl stick?
Yes, we do have a few questions. Would you do this on somebody with short bangs?
Yeah, absolutely. So like a fringe like mine, and then like just leave some bits out. Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Oh, Beverly must have come in late. She wants to know, what was the smoothing cocktail of products you put together?
Yes. Okay. Guys, I've never shared this on my Instagram before. I feel like it's a little treat for you guys. All right, so I've created a little cream that I love and I use on most of my styles. So it's the Smooth product. I love this product for blow waving, but for styling, I need that little bit more hold. So I added equal parts of the Smooth and then the Style. And then I've added like maybe 4 drops of the treatment as well. So I've got my Smooth, I've got my Shine, and I've got my Hold. And it's beautiful. Okay, so I'm just going to curl the front. I'm just going to add a little bit of the medium hairspray before I curl. I might actually just quickly just trim her up a little bit because it's a new mannequin. I haven't trimmed her yet. I'm just going to add a little bit of layering at the front. If you don't have layering, you can definitely leave the hair out and just kind of pin it back. But I want to show you what it looks like with some layers at the front.
Okay, we have a question. How would you adjust this for a client who loves her side part?
Oh, just do a side part. Easy. So I was actually thinking I would do this maybe on a side part, but I've done middle today. Just move it over and do more of a feature of this. So just say if you're doing it on this side over, maybe fatten the braid up a little bit more there and then start this braid a little bit lower so that it's more of a feature. That would look beautiful. I want to see that. Whoever asked me that question, do it and tag me on Instagram, Cat Hughes XO. All right, she's a bit uneven. Okay. So a little bit of hairspray, medium hold, and I'm going to be curling away from the face. Yep. And kind of loose. We don't want it to be too tight. And kind of leave the ends out as well. And again, away from the face.
And Katie wants to know, what size wand are you using?
Good question. It is not the 19mm one, it's the next one. So I think that's possibly a 32. I should have checked that. It's like a medium-sized barrel. Sorry, I should know that.
No worries. And then Johanna's asking, how often do you do this type of style on your clients?
I did it maybe 3 weeks ago for someone going to a wedding. I'm really wanting a bridal party to have I haven't done it as a bridal party like bridesmaids for maybe a year. So I hope I can do it again soon. I love this style. And you know what? It's such a time saver. It's so easy because as you saw before, if you're just joining me for the prep work, all I did was blow wave some smoothing lotion into the hair, the blow waving concentrate, this one here. And I didn't have to curl. So a lot of the time prepping is very important, but sometimes it takes a lot of time. So if you can kind of get away with not doing too much, that's perfect. Because sometimes you're doing, you know, up to eight people in a bridal party. So yeah, we can kind of save time, but not compromise the hairstyle. That's the best. All right, so I've curled that side as well. I still feel like this is a little bit long, but I won't keep giving her a haircut right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in. I'm going to show you how I make sure that the front holds really well. Texture spray. Spray it underneath into the roots. Give it a little back combing. That's heaps of back combing, probably a little bit less than that. And just comb out the top because we never want to see any loops. Okay, so now what I do, if I do have any loops, I just get my tail comb in and just pull some of those bits out. And the side bits as well, I'm going to... So the texture spray just adds a bit of grip as well. So if the hair's really soft, texture spray is amazing to add that grip, but also the hair is still meant, like you can still work the hair. Whereas hairspray kind of, you know, it's, you've sprayed it, you're done, that's where it's staying type thing. All right, so with the front, I like to then go in with my strong hold hairspray. And what I'm going to do, instead of spraying on top, I'm actually going to spray underneath. Hold it a little bit, wait for it to dry, and then drop it down. So as you can see, it's sitting quite full and off the face. And whenever I'm styling for a wedding, I always create a little bit more volume at the front because I know it's going to drop. So just fan it out a little bit. Spray. Depending on how much texture you want, you can kind of give it a bit of a squeeze. And I'm going to pin some of that back. into the hairstyle. So I've just picked some of it up. I don't really want her ear showing. So I'm going to get in there and just pin some of that back.
That's beautiful. We have a couple fans of your mannequin. What is her name, or where did you get her?
This is such a beautiful mannequin. So if you can see here, it's from Ivana Sanders. She's in New Zealand. The hair quality, guys, is amazing, amazing. So I highly recommend it. She's on Instagram, so Hair by Ivana. Definitely jump on, send her a DM and ask some questions about the mannequin. I've coloured the mannequin, by the way. She had a root melt and a toner. All right, so again, the other side. I'm just going to turn the mannequin around and maybe move to the other side so we can see a bit better. Yeah. All right, so texture spray. Tease up the roots a little bit. A little bit more, I think. Now, I love when I'm combing, I love to put my fingers underneath to give it the support and just lightly combing over the top. And again, hairspray from underneath. I also love to stretch the hair. So I'm holding, and I love to give it a little bit of a stretch, but I'm holding the base so I'm not going to be pulling out any of that teasing or volume that I've just created. Can you see how by holding it, it just holds, it gives that little bit more volume? So I'm just going to flatten that out just to match the other side. And again, I'm going to bobby pin it in. How are we going for time? Oh yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, all good. We have a couple questions about adding maybe some flowers or a headpiece, or I know you were going to touch on the veil.
Yeah, so I've actually got some hair pieces here that I'm going to add in. I wish I had my veil here. You guys, I've got my veil here. I'm going to show you. So I'm actually adding some of this hair underneath and creating some texture underneath as well. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Okay, so one more pin. All right, I'm just going to quickly add the hair pieces. So I've just got some cute little pins. I love working with pins rather than a comb. I hate combs, guys. It's a nightmare for hairdressers. If you put it in and you've put it in the wrong spot and you try and pull it out, it makes a mess. So if you can try and get your brides to get pins, that's the best. Okay. Any more questions while I'm pinning these in? Which all I'm doing is just sliding them in. What's your favorite thing to do in the salon? Hairstyling. I'm a hairdresser, but I love styling. It's my absolute passion.
Yeah, everybody is loving this so much. I do remember we had a question about those front pieces, and they wanted to know if you had the smoothing cocktail cream that you made on those front pieces, or was it just the texture spray?
No, just the texture. So it would be too heavy for the front, and we don't want it to go stringy and oily. So the aim for the front is to have soft and flowy. The creams, I don't put any cream in the front ever. So just the texture spray and hairspray. Got a bit more on the hairspray. And I'm really kind of fluffing it up because I just want it soft and gentle. All right, so that's what it looks like with the pins in. And I'm just going to quickly touch on the veil. So this is actually my veil from my wedding 8 years ago. And that's all it is. It does not have a comb on it, and that's how I had it 8 years ago. All it has is little loops on the side. Can you see that? And so when you're doing, say, a bun, you can then just go underneath and pin that in. For this style, I would just fold it in and pin it in there. And it's not going to interrupt with any combs. So I hope you guys have learned something with the veil. Yeah, I've cut off heaps of combs in the past. Brides are freaking out that I'm cutting their combs off their veil, but it all works out really well. So trust me on that one. All right, so that's the end look. I hope you guys liked it. I'm just going to go in with a bit of hairspray throughout.
Everybody loved this. We do have a question about the decorative pins. Where did you get those?
These are from Uliana Asta. She's in Australia in Queensland. She's got some beautiful pieces. I'm just going to go through here and just pull that out a little bit more, just to add a little bit more volume and just a little bit up the top. So before when I was styling, I was very gentle, but now that I've finished and I have control over the hair, I can just pull and gently kind of create more texture without worrying too much. And make sure with the hairspray you're not close up. We want to be a little bit further away and just giving it light kind of sprays. Yeah. All right, so let's do a 360. So that's the front. Just heading right around. And there you have it. So I actually love that there's no braid on top. I think that's more wearable sometimes. And there you have it, guys.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Kat. And like I said, guys, if you joined late, you can go back and rewatch this. It will be on the Behind the Chair Facebook page and our YouTube page. If you didn't get your question answered, feel free to DM Kat on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is right there at the bottom of the screen. But yeah, thank you so much, Kat. This was amazing. It looks beautiful.
No worries. Thanks for having me. Are we going to do the giveaway now?
So anybody who left a comment on this will be entered in the giveaway, and we will be choosing a winner right after the live.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. Is there any more questions, or we are good?
Let's see. I think we are good. We had what are your all-time favorite Moroccanoil products? And I know that you talked about a bunch on this live. So I don't know if you have a favorite, but we definitely went over a lot of them today.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you to Behind the Chair for having me, and of course Moroccanoil. Guys, they've got amazing products. If you want to check out any more of their products, go over to Moroccanoil Pro on Instagram. And yeah, again, come say hi to me over at Cat Hughes XO. Thanks for having me, guys.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.